Somewhere in the snowy mountains of the Arctic, a group of genetic researchers from Hong Kong surveying the area when receiving unusual signals from this area. Expedition leader quickly noticed a spike on the radar. Shows disturbances in nearby gravitational fields. This information is immediately reported to headquarters, where the researcher, Professor Lin, thought this anomaly is a good sign for mutations. Their vehicle genetics quickly malfunctioned. Prevent them from moving, and everyone noticed something is moving under the snow. Suddenly, a giant arm emerged from below and hit the side of the car, break all the windows. At the same time, the giant horn appeared. The car stunned everyone, and the entire vehicle was pushed off the mountain and fell into the abyss, eventually reaching the bottom of the cliff while the entire team was seriously injured. Trin was horrified when he saw a giant stone monster get closer to everyone. Realized his team was in danger. Professor Lin and Tai go looking for a famous archaeologist. Name is Milling. This man clearly doesn't care, because they had a conflict with someone on the team. However, when the professor said that person was in danger, FA quickly changed its decision. It's obvious he still has feelings for her. They quickly arrived at the team's final location, escorted by many soldiers, and finally arrive at a mysterious ancient temple. File immediately noticed that this place was very strange because all his tools are broken due to disorder. From geography, File takes the map and notices the pattern of the columns matches your diagram exactly. File quickly identifies switches and entrances. When they pressed the mechanisms together, the ground started to shake and many pillars emerged from the ground, surprised everyone. Suddenly, the ground broke out in the center, causing everyone to fall and landed in a giant cave, while other signals were cut off from headquarters. Luckily, no one was injured in this incident. While people looked for a way out, they quickly found the relics from thousands of years ago. Upon careful inspection, the skeletons all seem to have holes in the back of their heads. Makes people question how this happened. How? The expedition group continued deeper into the caves and stopped when he noticed one of the soldiers taking action. It was strange when this soldier fell to the ground. A large hole appeared in his head. The group began to hear many clicking noises when countless raptors rushed out from the eggs and attack everyone. The soldiers immediately opened fire, but the quantity is too large and they were quickly overwhelmed when attacked by these animals. A soldier shouted in the chaos while others were reloading. The creatures began to gather around the soldier and lifted him into the air. Realized that they can be very sensitive to noise and asked everyone to be quiet. The birds eventually returned to the burrow, and the group tried to move as stealthily as possible. Suddenly, Kai's phone rang an alarm early in the morning, forcing everyone to run immediately. They hurried towards the exit, while the creatures rushed towards them in great numbers. Che promptly threw a grenade, causing large explosions in caves, temporarily escaped danger. Then they were shocked at the astonishing sight before his eyes. The professor thought this may be due to unusual gravitational fields. The group continued to advance in search of the missing team, and Milling spotted a headlight in the snow, indicating that this may be the site of the crash. The mercenary captain also found the camera. Seems to still work. Show video of Trin and her team. Shows they may still be alive. Before they decide on their next step, one of the soldiers noticed movement nearby and was immediately revealed to be a giant shark. Jump over them. The creature begins to attack and devour the soldiers immediately as it crashed into the snow, causing the mercenaries to shoot fiercely towards me. Monster, however, their attacks were ineffective, and it quickly rushed towards another person, caught the victim and dragged him away. The people around tried to retreat, but the monster jumped out from the ground and pushed everyone into the air. The creature again plunged into the remaining group of showing off its giant teeth, makes everyone cower in fear. Before the animal can swallow it, the shark was grabbed by a giant creature. Turns out it was the snow monster. They were stunned when the giant creature attacked the shark and causes earthquakes with every hit. The creature eventually began to devour the giant fish, but a soldier accidentally fired his gun, causing monsters to fiercely attack the group of people. Mercenaries shoot at giant monsters, but the attacks had no effect, which only makes it angrier. The creature attacked the mountain with terrible power, creates a powerful wave, causing people to be pushed to the ground. They try to fire a missile, but missed and created an explosion on the mountain, leading to an avalanche. They tried to flee immediately, but Kai fell in the chaos, while fire rushed towards his friend to help, resulting in all of them being buried in the snow. When the file finally wakes up, he realized that they had been captured by the natives. While the village chief began the ceremony, their shoes and footrests were removed to drain blood. When Milling secretly cut the rope that tied his hand, he freed himself at the last minute and kidnapped the village chief. Makes everyone look very stressed. Suddenly a warrior jumped towards Face and threw him away, while the two people started fighting fiercely with each other. Face is clearly not an opponent when he was captured by the female warrior, causing everyone to chant her name in victory. It turns out the warrior's name is Kara, the most feared warrior in the tribe, and also the daughter of the village chief. Luckily, a voice asked everyone to stop and quickly revealed that the above had survived after the accident because she was also saved by the natives. She begged, please spare his life. When Face looked at her, she laughed and finally fainted. When he woke up again, Jeanne explained to her ex-boyfriend that the natives are good people, and this ritual to help new people recover faster. All members of her team died during the expedition. At the same time, mercenary captains are respectful to all. Soldiers lost their lives, and no survivors were found. The peace was quickly broken. When the ground begins to move in, a roar echoed in the distance, causing people to rush to find shelter. The snow monster approached them very quickly. When it walked past people like, maybe they are just grains of sand, while everyone was shocked at the giantness of the creature. The professor was again fascinated by the giant monster and revealed to the captain the true purpose. Turns out Lin always doubted the existence of the snow monster, and he intended to capture this creature to promote genetic research. For many 10 centuries, he wanted the soldiers to help him defeat the giant monster and promised to pay the people money in exchange for help. Faction informed the professor that I'll announce sending more reinforcements as the creature appears to be immune to firearms. Usually, meanwhile, the natives are preparing a ceremony to welcome the snow monster into their village when they worship this creature as their god. Female nun, famous for his ability to communicate with this creature, preparing to summon the monster in front of the invitees. The village chief blew the trumpet to welcome the creature, and very quickly, the ground started to shake when the giant snow monster appeared from the foot of the mountain. The snow monster roared to welcome everyone, causing the big young man to roll down the stairs like a snowball while everyone laughed, including living things. However, it reached out towards the Milling, and he gathered all his courage. Come into contact with the snow monster. The ceremony is peaceful. Was quickly interrupted when the creature is hit by a massive explosion. From behind, the second missile hit the mountain and made everyone fall to the ground. Turns out the mercenaries have found their location, and Professor Lin ordered have the soldiers fire immediately at the creature. This made the people angry and attack the invader, but they cannot resist the modern weapons of the soldiers. Meanwhile, the female warrior rushed to attack, and the two began exchanging blows. When they are equal, the monster became crazy because of human gunfire and attacks with its giant arm, but stopped at the last minute because it doesn't want to kill Faye and his friends. Lin seizes the opportunity and fired his cannon at the giant monster. Releases a powerful shockwave, causing the creature to be seriously injured and scream in pain. The last snow monster fell down the mountain. While Fei and friends, his was captured by mercenaries, Lin rushed over and saw the creature had retreated. While Chun wanted to know the reason, why would Fei do such things? The professor mocks the woman for her lack of imagination, because living things can become valuable assets for the progress of humanity. He pointed the gun at the nun and asked her to lead them to the monster. The woman immediately refused, causing Lin to shoot and kill her husband right in front of her. She was saddened by her husband's death, but Lin immediately took her and her daughter away, forcing them to reveal the creature's location. Mercenaries take the hostages away, while leaving Milling and his friends tied up next to the people they killed. The soldiers took the nun and her daughter. She went to the wilderness, at the same time forcing them to find out the monster's location. Strange things start to happen. When the soldiers disappeared, in an instant, the soldiers recognized Ra and became alert until a giant shark jumped out from the ground, opened the giant's teeth, and plunged into the snow. The nun brought people, quickly hid among the rocks, as many other creatures emerged, eventually surrounding the soldiers as they fired hastily. However, their guns were ineffective because the monsters are protected. The snow was thick and everyone was pushed into corners. They tried to climb the rocks in chaos. At the last minute, the professor took out Rhea's electric cannon and fired it at the ground. Generates a powerful shockwave, sending all the sharks and snow flying into the air. When things finally settled down, people began to notice large amounts of blood floats above the ground. Shows that they have destroyed all the monsters with just one shot. The professor laughed and immediately turned around, angry with the nun. Assuming that she intentionally led them into a trap, he threatened to kill her daughter. However, Kaya knocked the gun away and wrestled him to the ground. The captain saw this and immediately shot, like a nun jumping into cover. Sacrifice yourself to protect your child. Kaya hugged her mother and cried in pain. While everyone gets started, hear the monsters roar. Snow from afar. Ra, the creature, has decided to appear when he sensed the woman's death and decide revenge for your fallen friend. Mercenaries quickly surrounded and started shooting with other weapons, but is ineffective against giant creatures. The snow monster roared angrily at everyone, while the professor took the opportunity to shoot cannon at the snow monster. However, the creature easily dodged the shot. This time, the monster became angrier and stomped on it. Almost killed the professor in an instant. Creatures attack people with its giant hands. Makes the soldiers fly into the air. Clear, humans cannot resist this giant creature. Kaya took advantage of the opportunity, rush at the captain and throw his gun away. Fight with man to avenge her mother's death. The snow monster captured one of the soldiers and put him in the middle, preparing to devour the man. However, it was quickly stopped by a huge explosion from behind. It turns out reinforcements from outside have been sent here, and fighter planes quickly surrounded the snow monster from all sides. However, the creature counterattacked immediately. When it smashes planes into pieces, many tied pieces, the remaining aircraft must use sonar weapons and releases waves at the creature. Professor Lin took advantage of the opportunity aimed at the snow monster before firing the cannon at the creature, stuns the giant monster, and stood still. Before he can do more damage, the bird pointed the gun at his head. The professor tried to persuade him to stop, but he immediately took her gun. He forced the bird to the side of the cliff, eventually causing her to fall. Seemed to be quickly rescued, who was able to escape the dangerous situation before he too fell. CAI threw the rope to them and saved them. By sacrificing your precious property, finally pulled them back up. Milling quickly ran to the rocket and tried to take down the planes. Fight. The captain continued to attack angrily, finally hit her and sent her flying far away. Before delivering the finishing blow, Kai rush in and defeat opponents like Kung Fu Panda. The captain threw him to the ground and started turning him into a punching bag. This gives Chokara the opportunity to capture the man and strangle him, finally complete the revenge for her family. Milling at the same time successfully locked the target on the aircraft, and the rocket shot destroys the fighter plane. Debris flew towards everyone and fell right on the professor's feet, kept him on the ground. The snow monster finally broke the siege when it jumps to the middle stage and smash another plane into pieces before roaring angrily at everyone. However, the professor refused to give up and tried to shoot at the creature again, causing the monster to descend with giant power, crush him. The snow monster turned towards the humans and saw the injured. Don't feel sorry for them. The giant monster turned away and slowly disappeared. Meanwhile, Chun hugged his ex-lover, full of emotion because he saved Ms. Ba's life. Survivor, try to say goodbye to the natives. At the same time, remember their kindness with invited guests. But they quickly realized that everything had been destroyed when there were almost no people left. They can't help but return to sadness. Only the pain of losing a loved one remains. So what do you think about this movie? If you liked the video, please click register to support us.